What's up, guys? TCMuze. What happens when you only have an hour to create, track, mix, and master a song? Let's find out. All right, so we're going to start with setting 5 minutes just to get our sounds together. All right, we're going to start with our drums. I already got some favorites in mind, but since we're on a time crunch, I'm just going to go with crate cuts. Yes, sir. All right, I think we got a winner. Flying high kit. Here we go. All right, I'm going to grab some percussions. Going to go to complete again. Session percussions. We're going to get a bass. Now for a bass, we're going to use one that probably not a lot of people know about, or they know about, but probably slept on. The IK Multimedias, we're going to do Mondo bass. There we go. And I have a favorite one of mine called Beat. Let's see. And then just in case we want to use an 808, which I doubt we're going to use. Here's one of my kits. There we go. 808 sub basses. And we're going to use the Cubism bass just in case we need one. Now what we're going to do here is just get some Rhodes and piano sounds. Arturia. Yep. How are we on time? Oh, I got a minute. Wow, this goes. So that's what we're going to work with. I'm going to pick up a piano sound again from Arturia. There we go. All right. And then we're going to just open up Pigments. All right, actually we're going to just change that to Analog Lab 5. All right, and then I want an instance of Rise and Hit. There we go. Time's up. I'm gonna put that instance of Rise and Hit in, and then we'll move on from there. All right, cool. The next thing that we want to do is try to put together a chord progression, but we're going to leave some time for that. So we're going to give ourselves like 15 minutes to do that. All right, boom. Let's set the timer for 15 minutes. Let's try to get something going. All right, there we go. So that's what we could do in 15 minutes. We got together a chord progression, put a little bit of a bass line underneath there. Now we got 10 minutes to put together a groove. All right, let's go ahead, put some time on, and we'll get the groove in. So some drums and percussions, and may sneak a little time in to get back in to throw some embellishments on the top. All right, cool, let's get it. All right, we back at it, man. Those 10 minutes went fast. I mean, I really already feeling behind. So we got 10 minutes to sequence. So let's see what we're going to do. Let's put together a sequence, put 10 minutes on the clock. There we go. And we're going to start again. Let's see what we can do. All right, that was the time we had the sequence. Time just keeps flying by, but I think we put something together, put a couple little variations in there. So I think that was a good thing to do, just to make it sound less of just a straight loop. But anyway, we're on to tracking and mixing. and then mastering. So let's see what we can do in the next 5 minutes just to track. All right, cool. Let's see what we can do. Just to let y'all know, when I do my tracking, I like to try to set everything at unity gain. So everything should be hitting just about at that 0 mark. And then I'll mix from there. Kind of can help me mix by numbers as we kind of get closer if I need to just mix in a pinch. But anyway, back to tracking. All right, so we were able to track that relatively quickly, just leveled everything out, put it in. Now we're gonna give ourselves 10 minutes to mix, which should be more than enough time. But let's get into it. I'll show you the process. Guess I'll talk to you guys through this. So first thing we're gonna do is just organize everything, get our kick, snare, and hi-hats together. So there we go, kick, snare, hi-hat. All right, and then we want the bass elements. So there's the bass, there's the sub. Let me put that perk back up there. And from there we have the keys, then the piano, and then we can just quickly color coordinate them. All right, so these are red. Cool. This just helps me keep organized. For this, not so much, but for a bigger track, definitely we would want to stay organized on it. But here we go. So we got our main pieces. So let's see what it looks like when we do this. And let's flip over into the mixing section. Let's see what we got. All right, all of this can be hidden. Yep, let's get to the mixing session. Open that up for my buses. Let's get over here to the mix bus. Let's see how we're doing on time. Boom, 8 minutes. So it took 2 minutes just to get everything together, but that's cool. All right. Now where I usually set everything based on my kick. So I'll set my kick at about -3 dB, and then everything else will be kind of fall in line from there. All right, I'm gonna be quiet. Let's get this mix in. Yeah, cool. So I got a quick rough mix in there. Let's see how much time we got. Oh, we got 5 minutes. I got a quick rough, very static mix in there. I'm noticing that I want my kick to be a little more saturated. So we're going to throw something on there, probably knock, to get it to just hit a little harder. Let's go. All right, now that we got the kick knocking, let's go ahead and try to do the same thing with the snare. All right, that's it. Oh man, let's turn that alarm off. All right, that's it. We got a rough mix in, did what we could do. Let's see. I think we got 5 minutes to master it. So yeah, let's do that. Let's come back over here, put 5 minutes in. All right. And let's do it. Now for my master, I'm just gonna use Ozone and then tweak from there. So let's throw Ozone on and see what we can get. Looks like I forgot to do one actual main thing that I usually do, and that's route my tracks to the correct buses. Let me route them to the buses so Ozone can actually hear what we're trying to mix. All right, give it a second. Looks like I'm having some technical difficulties here, which happens exactly when you didn't want it. Don't want it to happen. You got 40 seconds to figure this out, and I doubt that it's going to work that way, but we'll see. Anyway, had a problem with getting the master because I'm having some technical difficulties with the DAW. That happens whenever you don't want it to happen. So I'm gonna start a stopwatch and see how long it takes for me to figure this out, and then we'll jump back into it. All right, give me a moment. Okay, so I finally figured it out. Hold on, let's see how much time will pass. That wasn't bad. We spent like 4 minutes figuring it out, but it totally messed up the workflow. So now we need to give ourselves another 5 minutes to master it. So we're going to go over. Client could have walked out of the session by this point in time, but that's kind of what happens. Let's go ahead and master and get back into it. All right, that worked out pretty well. Ozone seemed to have done a good job. Let's see what we got. So we can go in and it properly identified it as R&B, so that's cool. Said I needed a significant amount of highs, a little dip in the low mids, which got a little muddy, which I probably can understand. We did the impact. Did a little imaging, brought back the highs a little bit in the imaging. I like to push them back up. Clarity's doing its thing. And then let's just skip over here, the little dynamic EQ. Let's see what the dynamic EQ is doing. Just ducking in areas that would be, you know, boxy, and then just a little bit of harshness, and then kind of, I guess, de-essing some of that top end or pulling some of that top end down. And then to maximize, let's see how loud we get. Let's just take a quick listen. So that's a pretty hot master at negative 9.6 LUFS. I usually like mine to be about 10 LUFS, so I'm just gonna pull it down about 0.4, 0.6 dB and see if that just makes it a little less, you know, kind of slammed against that limiter. Well, that was all right. I mean, that wasn't too bad. Never really realized how much pressure you put under when you put underneath the timer. Obviously, that makes every decision that much more important, makes every click that much more critical. I found myself kind of getting lost with getting the chord progression together, and I spent a lot of time there, and I felt that it was kind of a good investment to put the time into having a good foundation with the melodics and the harmonics. And then we put together the percussion, made sure everything was working. But obviously that's where you want to spend most of the time. If I had to do this, I would spend more time on putting the melodics together. This was just to show putting everything together from creation all the way down to mixing and mastering. Of course, this would most likely not be a true scenario where you have to actually master and get something out the door, but sometimes you have to. So it calls for quick decision making. But anyway, this was a good practice, a good exercise. And I think we did pretty good for, you know, putting it together in an hour. I appreciate y'all staying around for the ride. In the meantime, of course, stay up. Let's check this out one more time.